I'm so excited to where it's gonna be. And I'm pretty proud of where we've gotten, but I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with it. And so that's what 20 years means to me.
Before you started Travois, you were working at the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis. Tell me what your experience was like there.
I went out to literally to every reservation in the 9th Federal Reserve District. I visited every reservation. I'm very proud of that. And my job was to talk to them about the need for capital and banking services. And while I did my job, my heart wasn't in it. But more importantly, the tribe said to me, we need banking services, but we're having a housing crisis. And it finally dawned on me, and I was driving from Great Falls, Montana to Helena, Montana, going back to the Helena branch of the Minneapolis Federal Reserve Bank. And it was about midnight on a beautiful cold winter night, and stars were out, and I pulled off the road, and I looked up at the stars, and it occurred to me, I know how to do this. I can help the housing on Indian reservations. I know how to do the low-income housing tax credit program. Why is it not being used in Indian country? And so it just, I'm gonna leave the Fed. I decided that night, crazy, I'm gonna leave the Fed, I'm gonna start this company, and 20 years later, here we are. And you know, I started Travois when you were still in school. What do you remember about that?
From when I was little, you always worked from home. So I was kind of working even when I was little. I remember doing little internship projects for you when I was in school. You were your own boss. You could make your own decisions and choose the path that you wanted to go down. And so I remember thinking, this is pretty neat. I think that this is maybe a business that I'd like to work in someday, to give me the opportunity to really chart my own course in tandem with you on a parallel path. But I think I just knew that it felt like home. It felt like the right place for me to be. You've made some great friends in Indian country in the last 20 years. What do you really cherish from the last 20 years?
Well, you're right. I have made some wonderful friends. The very best public housing directors and the best public housing authorities in the country are Indian housing authorities, because they serve the lowest income families in the harshest environments in America, and they do it with the least resources in America. Indian Housing Authority units are fully occupied, and boy, the Indian Housing Authority directors that I know, best in the country, they're wonderful people, and they're great friends.
Can you think of a specific example of when an Indian country leader or executive director with whom we've worked has really gotten it right?
Oh yeah, I mean, Jane Barrett at Red Lake, she gets it right every day. She had a strategy right from the get-go. She knew that she had to do new construction to get her families enthusiastic. The very first project was a home ownership new construction project. And they also had the need to rehabilitate some of their existing stock. So the next project was a rehab project, and it was a good mix. So Jane did it right, and she was brilliant, and her housing commission was with her every step of the way. And I can't speak highly enough of Red Lake, and that's just one reservation. There are dozens of others I could say the same thing about.
What does 20 years equals mean to you?
Well, 20 years to me means, it's a big number, but $1 billion of housing and economic development and 20 years of partnership with investors and state agencies and our tribal customers and tribal partners and all the people who have worked together with us, and the great partnerships that we've had together and all these great friendships that we've developed. And the results are just magnificent.
Where do you see Indian country in the next 20 years?
I think one thing that Indian country has really embraced beautifully, and that is in alternative energy. I think wind turbines and wind energy is something that Indian Country has in great abundance. Solar power, geothermal, and we have expertise in that area. Our design team really knows that inside and out, and we design units that take advantage of solar power in great abundance, and we're very proud of that. I think that is going to be a huge, huge movement in the future. So what do you want to accomplish? Where would you like to see Travois go in the next 20 years?
Well, I think what's been so important over the last 20 years is really building enough homes for those who need them the very most, for those who really have very low incomes. But I think in the last 20 years, we've seen this growth of the middle class in Indian Country, and I think there's new opportunities to see how we can help, just like we've grown over the last 20 years to add on additional services that our customers asked us to create. I think there's the opportunity for Travois to help provide services to this growing middle class in Indian Country. There's really so much diversification happening in Indian Country right now that I'd love to be a part and see what we can do to help.
20 years also means transition to a new generation, and this new generation, you're going to be taking over this company, and this is a family company, and I'm very proud of that, and it's going to add new energy and a whole new way of doing things, really, and the new technology. So 20 years means a transition from the way things used to be to where we're heading, and I don't know what that's going to be. I know the way it used to be, and I'm real proud of where we are now, but I'm so excited to where it's gonna be. And I'm pretty proud of where we've gotten, but I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with it. And so that's what 20 years means to me.